Eugene, Springfield, Lane County, Oregon. Support our work. Make a donation at strpod.com. Thank you for listening to Spent the Rent Podcast. And now, here's your host, Patty Rose.
I am Patty Rose. Welcome to the Spent the Rent Podcast. My guest today for the 9th installment of Two Pats in a Pod is Patric Miller. Patric, welcome to the show.
I never learn.
I
keep
learn.
Coming back. I never learn.
So I don't even have to ask you. I've been cutting your hair for 13,000 years, and so I don't even have to ask you what we're doing. But what do you got going on?
You know, life just keeps going on. I'm very involved with Rotary. My daughter, my almost youngest daughter, second to middle daughter, just had a brand new grandson. So that's our many grandkids. That's our 8th if you count the 2 steps, 6th otherwise. So we were down in Sacramento, came back. I had the head cold from hell. It just goes on and on. Life. It's just life in general.
One of your main projects that you work on is Shop Local 541. So for anybody that has never listened to any podcast where you've talked about it, tell us what that's all about.
So Shop Local 541 started out and continues to be primarily a receptacle for Rotary initially. Our Rotary Club, Southtown Rotary, does projects, does fundraisers, etc. We do raffles, all sorts of stuff on the website. But the real reason that it's originated and it's starting to expand now is we want to bring focus to businesses in the 541 area code. Our district covers most of Southern Oregon from Albany down south and clear to the coast. We're in a situation right now where businesses are finding it harder and harder to promote. It's almost impossible to find a centralized receptacle for business promotion in the area. And more importantly, it's ways for them to donate a product. That product is then sold at a discount so that the general public gets a break, and then that money is completely donated 100% into the work that Rotary does, from food boxes to housing shortages to on and on and on, scholarships, all sorts of things.
So what kind of takers, what kind of companies are involved?
All sorts. I own domains for Shop Local, Arts Local, Eat and Drink Local, Give Local. So there's a whole range of stuff going on. We're just starting our next big fundraiser, which is a golf ball drop, where we're going to drop 1,000 golf balls out of a helicopter. What could go wrong? And it's the closest to the pin wins the grand prize, etc. It's May 3rd. Take a look at shoplocal541.com for all the details on that one.
Well, there you go, Eugene, shoplocal541.com.
Just shoplocal541.
Well, no, I'm saying there you go, Eugene.
Don't say Eugene in the front. They'll do the whole thing. I know how you work. I know how web people are.
So I've got an exciting announcement about some promotional ventures. I finally have a corporate sponsor. Or On Point Community Credit Union is going to become a corporate sponsor starting in March, which is really exciting.
Nice.
And if you're a business and you want to promote your business inside of my barber shop, I've got a little reader board. You can't see it right now, but and then there's a slideshow with my price list and different stuff. And if you'd like to promote your business, it's very cheap, and so you can email me at stutzcuts@gmail.com. That's a cool opportunity.
Sounds to me like Shop Local 541 needs to get involved with that.
It's something we should talk about off air for sure.
No, not off there. I want a commitment.
I want the number.
Commitment in front of the world.
No, we can absolutely do that. So you and I like to talk about politics, but I know that both of us have lost any amount of stamina left that we had. So have you been following it at all?
I have stamina. I've just redirected my efforts. As you know, I used to write a blog called crankyoldguy.com. It's still up there. I still post once in a while. I did Facebook posts and all that stuff, but I realized I was screaming down a silo.
Right.
Everybody that reads my stuff agrees with me, and that's not where the problem is. So I'm really working at this point to try and find solutions to local problems, local issues, and let the national insanity work itself out.
That's exactly where I'm at with it. I just talked to Mayor Sean Van Gordon, and if you watched the episode last time, I messed up the audio because for some reason my computer defaulted to the webcam, but life goes on. But yeah, I can't focus on the federal stuff. It hurts my heart.
Well, it's performative. So, I mean, I'll put it in a nutshell as far as where I am right now. Everything Trump does right now is a distraction away from the obvious big question about the Epstein files, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I think at this point, the Epstein files are going to be his Watergate. I'll just leave it at that. Too many people involved, too many high-ranking officials, too many countries involved for it just to go away.
Yeah, you saw Prince Andrew, which is no longer a prince, but
there you go.
In the UK, that he is now arrested.
Well, Bill Gates was the big one.
Sounds like
that was the one that really turned my head around. So put that in a box at one point. The real problem in the world right now is Stephen Miller, Russell Vogt, Peter Thiel, and that whole crew with the Project 2025 thing that are really driving the truck, driving the ship, and creating 99% of the horrible things our country's doing. Trump just goes along with it. He has no policy. He has nothing.
It's all about his popularity.
Well, every time he talks, he goes back to 2020. I mean, the guy's insane. There's nothing normal about this man. I don't think he's going to last.
Well, tell me how you really feel. Did you watch any of the State of the Union?
Nah.
I didn't. We talked yesterday briefly, and you said you weren't going to.
No.
And I pulled up because I recently, I had to downgrade everything. I don't have YouTube TV there's always going to be ways to watch the State of the Union. But I popped up, I think it was on Amazon Prime or whatever, and it popped up to watch the clip or the video, and I was like, no, I'm not interested.
Yeah,
it's the first time in my life that I'm not even interested in watching the president do the State of the Union.
Well, the good news is if you have it's an hour and a half of something, but if you just want to get the highlights where he actually says something substantive, the good news is the clip reel is about 18 seconds long.
Right.
So there's nothing there. There's no substance. He dodged everything. He didn't talk about rule of law. He didn't talk about the Constitution. He didn't talk about the Supreme Court, overruling him, nothing. So
I did hear that he talked shit on the Supreme Court the other day. That he said that they're a bunch of buffoons, which is
that's
class work.
Unfortunately, he stays up all night texting. So there's, on any given day, there's 100 to 400, depending on the day, different text posts. That's our commander-in-chief. That's the ruler of the free world. So, I don't give him any credence at this point. I think he's a sad, fat, bloated little man who doesn't have a lot of life left in him outside of his grievances.
Well, I really should have started with this because I had mentioned, I alluded that we don't like to talk about the federal government, but we do have a local election coming up in May that's pretty damn crucial for the future of our community.
Yep.
Primarily in the race, in my opinion, in Springfield.
Yeah, hold on, I have to ask a question before you start. This is one of the first podcasts you've done cutting hair, isn't it?
I've done 3. This is the third one.
And did the other 2 come back and say you just nicked my ear or there's part of my
No, not at all.
Okay, you're cooking. All right.
Yeah.
You're a
back in business for sure.
You're a multitasker.
No, the thing that really what it comes down to, I had to work out the audio stuff, and the clippers that I was using in the first couple episodes were very loud.
Oh, okay.
So if those episodes, I interviewed Plato, who's a local musician, and then KI Design, who's probably the most hardworking hip hop artist behind maybe only Ender One in Eugene, and one of the most talented. And so I wanted to give him a chance. We're actually working on a project. It's another exciting things for my music. I'm going to be making a new 3-song EP.
Nice.
So that should be, look for that in coming months. But the beats were made by KI Design. So
nice.
Yeah, I did 2 episodes, kind of like the pilot for the barbershop. And when you've been pushing me to do this for many years.
Yeah, I thought this is what you should have done originally.
But back to the election, the local election. I think that the Lane County Commissioner's race in Springfield area is the most detrimental to the future of our community because we have kind of a split. He would be a deciding vote on a lot of issues. He's running against David Lovall, who's the incumbent, who is basically very one-sided. You can watch the interview.
He's lost his mind.
And he's being accused now of threatening people at the county that are public about their opinions against him.
Unfortunately for him, there's things called social media and text messages.
I said it last time, and Sean confirmed it. He was on photo or on video or on pictures of him during the Black Lives Matter protest in Springfield, where he was sitting outside of his downtown businesses with an AR. So he believes that human life is less valuable than glass. So that is an issue that I would have. But Sean Van Gordon is somebody that can work with both sides, and I know him personally, and we have a working relationship. I respect him. I think that he gets a lot more done than people realize, and so I think
he's the Mandani of Springfield.
I wouldn't go that far. I mean, he's definitely a nonpartisan person, so that is something that's in his blood, in a way that he wants to represent
I'm fascinated
everybody.
by our sister city, which is what I call Springfield. I mean, it used to be, a big divide. There's still kind of a divide there in how they govern and everything else. They're going through a, craziness with the school board as well.
We're going to be having Heather Quasanza on the podcast.
Wow.
Actually, we're talking about that. She's the one that just resigned
after
being recalled. So I'll have her tell her own side of it.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm saying it's fascinating to me that the differences between the governance in the two cities.
I mean,
and what challenges they're facing. They've done a really good job of revitalizing their downtown, doing a lot of things to move them in the right direction. Lovall was involved with that a lot. So you got to give him credit on that. But he's got a kind of a dictatorial thread about him that is not particularly helpful when trying to get
And the Lane
consensus.
County Commissioner, though, it's not an executive position because you're still on a board,
right?
But it is a powerful position.
Sure.
And so each section, they have a lot of pull. And the one gripe that we had early on with David Lovell's campaign when he ran the first time is he doing this to pad his pockets? Anytime a politician says the words, "I want somebody with skin in the game," that's code word for who's going to personally profit from the decisions that are being made. So
or be hurt.
It's important. It's important to. I mean, I do. Springfield, and I want to push back a little bit. And you didn't say this, but what you may have kind of implying that there's chaos.
Don't tell me what I implied.
Okay.
This is how we get in trouble.
No, but there's chaos in the school board.
Yeah.
In Springfield, but I mean, I can go back 2 years or less in Eugene, and there was absolute bedlam in the school board. And then also they've recalled a city councilor in the River Road area because of the MX. So these issues are Lane County issues, and I think that's what people need to educate themselves on with this next election, because county commissioner, you're like, what do they even do? Well, first of all, when there's a crisis or crisis management, like a fire or a flood, they're the ones that make the decisions. And the ways that you had mentioned before about how things are done differently in Eugene and Springfield, one of the major ones is that in Eugene, an emergency declaration will be done the second that the mayor wakes up. Like they'll wake up, they're like, this is happening, like emergency declaration, because they give no shits about their credit rating from the federal government.
Right.
The Springfield, primarily Sean Van Gordon, is very calculated. And I talked to him about that on my last episode, where it's like, why would you delay? And he said basically in so many words, because he doesn't like to answer questions because he's smart, but that he's like, you do have to make those decisions very carefully. And I agree with that, because when your credit rating gets lowered, you end up getting less benefits.
Yeah. If you talk to Karen, and
she's great.
What they have gone through with dodging the federal government's mandates and all the things is really textbook about where we are in the country right now. So I have nothing but respect.
100%. And there's different philosophies.
And she was dealing with cancer at the same time.
I did not know that. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
This is a super driven, powerful.
Oh, she's great. She's great. I want to be clear. She's amazing.
Yeah.
It's as a whole. It's the culture as a whole. I mean, I think that the next mayor of Eugene and the next mayor of Springfield would do the same thing, because it's the start, and that's the interesting part about it. It does push each other to kind of we are, like you said, sister cities.
I think when it all comes down to is where I am politically, where I am in life in general. We have some relatives that are conservative and a couple that are ultra Fox watcher conservatives. We still have to get along. We still have to find solutions to things we both agree on. And when it comes to housing and food, and dealing with the federal cuts and dealing with whatever that affects us on a local basis. I mean, how that stuff trickles down the hill.
Totally.
You have to trust people that have good common sense and the courage, and that's a big word these days, courage to do the right thing and do it publicly.
Right.
You can't be so calculated. So I am concerned with anybody that says I have to make a calculated decision and I'm not going to reply and I don't like questions and blah, blah, blah. Good leadership makes a decision and then alters course if they need to change.
So that being said, we're talking about Sean Van Gordon.
I'm talking about all kinds of
not
things.
All leaders, but he's running against David Lovell, who voted against a treatment facility because he's like, I'm not sure if we actually have a big enough problem in Springfield with drugs.
Right.
So that's insane. So, but you're totally right, and I agree. And
I
right
keep
now,
coming in here for that reason.
Now,
the fact that you're going to talk me into something that I don't want to
right now, there's a lot of Democrats, primarily here, that are eating each other and are fighting to where they're not actually constructive. I had a good friend of mine, and I'm not going to say who, and I had posted just a shared thing about ICE, and it said that ICE had in Pennsylvania, I believe, that a judge was going to rule if they could new guidelines, and the guidelines would have been, I don't know, I haven't checked up if it happened, but the guidelines would have been they have to wear masks, they have to show ID, and they can't arrest without a warrant. And I'm like, this is huge. That is huge.
Yeah.
And the friend of mine was like, nope, that's not progress at all. This is a terrorist organization. They need to be closed. Well, the fact of the matter is that's not going to happen, because the Congress and the executive branch federal government is ran by the Trump administration. The Congress shouldn't be the Trump administration, but that's literally where we sit.
Yep.
And so that's not going to happen, and it became something where I was kind of arguing back and forth.
Well, I think Democrats are traditionally eat their own, and that's the weakness of the party and the strength of the party. Everybody has a personal agenda of something they care about, whether it's, trees and shrubs and eating and blah, blah. Everybody has a really clear, fine personal point that they like to make, and they like to drive, and they like to make sure it gets covered. The problem is I'll even go so far as to going to a rally that has 12,000 people at it, and the only thing you're hearing about, and this is not going to make me friends, and I'm sorry, but the only thing you're hearing about from the speakers is trans rights. It represents an infinitesimal small part of our community, A. B, most of us are not there for that. We're there because we're doing a No Kings rally.
Was this a specific thing? I mean, I know what you mean, because there's definitely different. I thought you were going to go in the direction
No, here's where I'm going with it. The problem is, I don't disagree with trans rights. I absolutely agree with all of the things that every one of these individual special interests believe in. It's all part of a big melting pot of why we're all
100%. It's about people's personal rights.
Yes,
what
exactly.
It comes down to. Yeah.
But when in fact you start saying that's more important than that, or that's more important than that, and I need more time, that's where you get into trouble, and that's where the Democratic Party in general fails. And the incessant fundraising with no end that doesn't go anywhere.
I mean, Kamala Harris, after losing to Trump. And I mean, that's, again, the Democratic Party, the Democratic National Party just completely screwed the voters like they always do.
Yep.
But the way that she's asking for money after the fact, I'm like, didn't you raise $1 billion? I have $80 in the bank.
Well, it's ongoing with the current folk in the DNC. And it's just like, I mean, I get 10 emails a day about how we need to raise the money because the midterms are coming and da-da-da-da. It's like, you know what? Here's where I am. Do something. Actually do something.
All right, Willie Taggart.
And I'll be, no, seriously.
Do something.
Do something. That's where I am.
I know.
Do something or that will motivate me to care about what you're doing. Quit promising and then sitting on your hands.
Who is somebody in the federal level that you think is doing something?
Melanie Stansbury.
Okay,
she is absolutely my favorite congressperson, period, hands down.
I like Ro Khanna.
Yeah, good as well. The problem with Melanie Stansbury is that she's a very white, redheaded.
What's wrong with redheads?
No. There's a predetermined, about you guys being
my
crazy.
My hair's dyed. But
anyway, no. The bottom line is that she comes from New Mexico. She's fighting for the rights of everybody down there. She is in the face of these people about Epstein and about. I mean, she's wonderful. If you follow her on Facebook or anything else, you'll go, okay, I get that. She's like, I don't know what you compare her to. Unfortunately, again, even in Texas is a good example. You've got two wonderful candidates running against each other for a seat that really needs, or for a Senate race that really needs to be won by a Democrat. And the two of them are going to beat each other up on some level. Yeah, so it's hard to watch.
So we got a couple minutes left. I wanted to.
Is my hair almost done?
It's almost there.
Okay, good.
I wanted two things. I wanted to remind everybody listening. You can go to Shop Local 541. check that out. If you'd like to be a business, you can contact them there. I'd like to be a business that has your product on there.
And to buy golf balls for the golf ball drop on May 3rd. Yeah.
And then all that info will be on Shop Local 541.
Yep.
Look out for, this is a joke, but look out for my new restaurant. It's a fusion with Italian and Vietnamese. It's called Pho. Get about it. Also, I wanted to give you a gift. I got you this.
No. Hold on.
What?
Did you trademark that? Because I want it.
I made that up the other day.
Oh,
Anyways,
good.
I got this for you. This is a Tim Walz action figure, just in case when the ice in Minnesota is getting out of hand, you know who to call.
There you go.
You know, so.
Yeah, this is great. So the only issue with this, of course, is that he doesn't run anymore, and if you pull the string, he just stutters now.
Yeah, so, he does nothing.
Yeah, he does nothing.
I ordered that before the election, and then I knew that it was risky.
Really?
Oh yeah, and because it was a Kickstarter, and I wanted you to have one because if you had a goatee, you guys would be twins. But
hey, he's bald. Look how much hair I have. Look how much hair I have. Hair. You're cutting my hair. That guy, you could put you could put milk on his head and have a cat lick it off. There's nothing there.
I mean, I'm probably gonna do that. So anyway, what do you got? What do you got out? I mean, do you want to add anything before we get out of here?
No, I think that the bottom line is this. I would tell everyone in this community, please.
Where we at?
There we go. Oh, it looks wonderful as usual. Great job. Great barber. That there's a reason I've been coming here for 13, 14 years. Get out there, do something. Don't be afraid to protest. Don't be afraid to go out there and do something and say something. If you see something that's wrong, say it. Say it loud.
Just make sure you have a diverse portfolio. Is that what you're saying?
Whatever.
And you can't just have one issue.
Yeah. No, it's all good.
Anyway, thank you so much for watching. This has been Spent the Rent Podcast. We are at Stutz Cuts Barbershop. Go to stutzcutsbarbershop.com to book your appointment today. That's not good.
What happened? Didn't work?
No, it's working.
Didn't record?
It did.